It's Hawaii in a mug and vacation trivia all coming at you today. Dad's gonna be a hula girl. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Like Father, Like Son. I'm Joey.
I'm Wally.
I'm still the son, by the way.
I am still the dad.
You're not only the dad, you're the dad with the socks. Let's see them, Pops.
Hey, in case you were wondering, did we really hand out the prizes? We absolutely did. Mario Brothers with a monkey and a frog and whatever else is in Mario Brothers.
Frog?
What is it? What is that?
Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, Toad, it's not a Koopa. Is it a Koopa? It's a Koopa. No, the Koopa is the... Anyways, that's Yoshi and that's Bowser.
Yoshi and Bowser.
It's not a turtle. Yoshi's a dinosaur.
If I go on another job interview, I am definitely wearing these. I may wear one of them on my head. I'm not sure.
We spared you all by making sure that he didn't actually wear them on his feet, so he didn't have to, see all of that, because y'all aren't ready for that.
Ooh.
You get canceled from YouTube real quick for that type of thing nowadays, let me tell you. So what have you been doing with your days lately, Dad? Now that you have your new socks, have you become a changed man?
Well, I have, actually. When I put these socks on, it really makes me want to garden.
Does it?
We are in the gardening season now, by the way. Since you've asked what I've been doing, I have been gardening.
All right, that's good. That's very good. So you have a tendency occasionally to watch some mainstream news media as well. Have you still been finding yourself in that, even though we're in the gardening season?
Yes. At the end of the day, I cannot help it. I must admit, the TV goes on, and I am watching the news. Not believing it all, but I am watching it.
So let me ask you then, Walter. Do you ever feel yourself down and in the dirges, in the depths of despair? So do you ever find yourself down after you watch the news, Walter?
Absolutely.
And
I always say absolutely, and I've been promising myself I'm going to stop saying absolutely, and I absolutely will. I do get depressed sometimes watching it.
Why do you think that is? What do you think causes people to get upset when they watch the media, the news, regardless of which station?
Right. Because it's always bad news.
It is. Just kind of get you upset.
Because little kitties and doggies don't sell. People fishing, grandpies out there with their grandkids, having a good time. There's none of that on the news. It's all death.
The driving force behind kind of like every story is to turn a profit, right?
Yes.
I mean, after all, that's why we sell Bulbmoji, which you can get right now. It's available. Just jump online.
They're still sponsoring us.
That's right. They're still sponsoring us. So that makes me think about, Walter, the selfishness of Americans. Would you say that most people, not just in America, but in these are better? Are more wealthy countries.
First world countries.
First world, thank you. That's what I was looking for. Would you call them selfish?
Yes, but we're only interested in what we're interested in.
What's going to cause us either to be aggravated or angry, or what's going to satisfy us and think about number one, right?
And make us happy.
That's right, exactly. This I was thinking about, and this whole reason of my questioning you came into mind the other day when I was driving.
Do tell.
I will, in fact. When I was driving in the snow, thinking about how many 17 and 18-year-old kids are going to be out on the road today delivering pizzas to people that don't want to get out of their house, but will instead call the 17-year-old pizza boy, who's supposedly like an expert stunt driver, to drive out and deliver pizza. Now, this is, we're in the gardening season now. This was a while ago that I was thinking about this, but it stayed fresh in my mind, and I'm part of that as well. I mean, I went to the store that day. I was actually thinking about this on my way to the store. Now, here's the question for you, though, because you've been to the store when it snowed.
I have been to the store. Back in the old days, we didn't have stores, but we would just go to the market.
So you were probably happy that Walmart or your grocery store or whatever, Home Depot, was open that day.
Yep.
But would you have been affected if they weren't open that day?
Back some years ago, yes.
What would have affected you? Like if you...
Oh, it's a good point because...
Oh, I'm talking about like one day, by the way, just one snow day. Like
if they weren't open...
Yeah, not forever. I mean,
okay.
one, obviously it would affect us all.
No,
if they weren't open,
you're just saying a bad snow day.
Yeah, one day.
That doesn't bother me.
Right, so that's kind of my idea is that as I was walking into the store, I was getting a few things that we kind of needed, kind of didn't. I was glad that the store was open, but wouldn't have been affected at all if they weren't. So it's kind of like the what comes first, the chicken or the egg thing. Are they open because we need them to be open to go in and buy things, or are they open because they know that we'll go in and buy things that we don't necessarily need on a day that could put people's lives in jeopardy?
Now, I will say this about that.
Okay.
This is the this about that.
Here comes another intro.
On a snow day, a bad day, if I've gotten out, and this is going to be relative to fast food from a couple of episodes ago, but if I'm out, I don't know why, but I expect fast food to be open.
Well, of course. I mean, because they always are.
Yeah.
McDonald's is always open. Walmart's always open. I can't remember a time because of snow that those places weren't open. Maybe delayed, but not just closed.
And I wasn't going to finish by saying that somebody wasn't open because, in fact, they were.
Right.
But I can remember from before I retired, something which is relevant to what we're talking about, selfishness. I worked at a local lumber yard, and regardless of the weather conditions, I was expected to be there. I wasn't delivering; I was an office person.
Right.
But yeah, and I always felt that was rotten, and so there was a part of me.
His small heart grew 3 sizes that day.
But it does make you feel bad when you think about why am I expecting the person behind the grill at McDonald's to have risked their life so I can get a double cheeseburger, or Walmart to be open so I can get a gallon of milk.
Right.
Because
especially when it's just one day typically. It's not, most bad snows when they happen, it's like, a day thing, especially in this area.
And so it to your point, we are selfish. We expect everyone to be on our schedule and deal with life as we would have it, regardless of what danger it puts them in.
Right. Exactly. And it's not just snow. I mean, there's other inclement weather that comes about as well. And it's always the case where, it's like, okay, well, we know this place is going to be open. We know that there's going to be people there. And really, if the store wasn't open for that one day, for the majority of people, it's not going to be a huge deal. I understand that there's some things that people may need, like, a prescription or something from a Walgreens or CVS. But most of the time, people aren't going to be going out in really bad weather.
You can survive one day.
Right. Or, a few hours or whatever the case may be until you need that. But it just made me think about the selfishness of Americans.
We are selfish people.
We all are. We are, absolutely.
And because we're selfish, this show should be more about me than you.
But instead, it's going to be about coffee now for Mugshots. All right, so guys, we have a very special blend today. This was actually, hold on, before we get into this, I forgot to ask a very important question. Dad,
what question was that?
So you know that these were the Mario brothers on his socks.
Yeah.
Have you ever played Mario? And which Mario have you played, if you have played one?
Well, it's interesting that you asked that because years ago, right after they invented the wheel, we actually purchased... A Fortune. One of the, I think, original games.
Yeah, well, you had the Super Nintendo, I believe. Yeah.
So was that the original?
No, they had a bunch of Mario games on the regular Nintendo, which was the rectangular-looking one. Put a picture of it right there. The Super Nintendo, though, put a picture of it right there, was the one that came out after that, and that had the Super Mario World on it.
This would have been like 1986.
Yeah, that was probably that should have been right.
You think that
was it 86, Mom, or would that have been?
That was probably 4. No, it would have been he.
He still remembers the music, so that's surprising. That's good. All right. So you have played Mario.
I played it.
Very good. Let us know in the comments below which Mario you have played and which one is your favorite. Mine, I think the best Mario rather, was Mario 64. That's my favorite. That's the N64 one. That one was fantastic. That's the first one where they had like the 3D Mario running around and stuff. My kids love that one actually. So let us know in the comments below. While you're down there, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. Ring that bell so you know whenever we drop a new video. By the way, folks, I know that we missed a couple of episodes here lately. I meant to put this way at the beginning, and but here we are at the beginning of Mugshots. Hold on, I'm gonna do a thing there because hold on, wait. So anyways, that is enough about Super Mario World. Wait, hold on. Alright guys, so anyways, enough about Super Mario and all of the other Mario games. There's a whole plethora of Marios out there.
That's a lot.
There's no...
2 hours later.
So anyways, folks, enough about Mario. There's no shortage of Mario games out there. Now we're going to talk about coffee, which is the whole point of Mugshots. We went off on a bit of a tangent right there. So today, we've got a very special blend from our friends Jim and Ginny. Thank you guys so much for letting us try this out. This is Greenwell Farms Macadamia Nut 100% Kona coffee from the best place to get Kona coffee, Hawaii. That's right, from Melikaliki Maka Island. No, it's Kialalaki. I don't think we have anyone watching in Hawaii today, so I'm very sorry if any of you do watch this episode, and I just destroyed this name right there, if you can see that. That's where this is from. This is a very interesting blend of coffee, and I am not used to having a Kona blend. In fact, I can think of maybe one time I've had Kona. Most of the coffee that I drink is like everyone else, either Arabica or Arabica or whatever, or
if you don't even have a Bica,
or what's the Colombian. Sometimes Guatemalan for me tends to be a little more fruity. Usually it's Colombian for me though.
And I don't know where my coffee comes from, except
a can.
Starbucks.
Don Francisco's.
Don Francisco.
Comes from.
You will love his coffee. Try it today.
So, what do you think about the Kona coffee, Dad?
Well, it's
the macadamia. I've never had macadamia nut coffee either.
And I haven't either. And it's got a nice taste and a nice aroma. It's aromatic.
I will say it's smooth.
It is.
It's a very smooth coffee. It's an interesting taste with the macadamia nut because, again, at least when I think of coffee, usually I'm buying coffees that say things like, bold and chocolatey, or
Just so you know, I can't pronounce that either. I was going to do everything in my power.
Kealakekua, Hawaii, or whatever it is.
Kealakekua.
So do you...
Kealakekua. I think I'm on to something. Comment down below if Kealakekua is actually how it's pronounced.
So what is the coffee, like if you're going to buy a coffee, what do you look for then?
Starbucks. Once
if it has the mermaid, we're safe.
We're buying it. I do like to try different blends, and that is a problem. I don't know. It's all shot in the dark.
For a man that watches Fox News, he buys a lot of Starbucks coffee. I just want to go ahead and point that out.
That is a bit of a dichotomy. But I do like bold coffee. I like strong coffee.
You should try Black Rifle coffee. They're not sponsoring this episode, but they could.
We would love to have you. We actually stopped at Black Rifle when we were over in PGI Forge.
Okay, their coffee. Theirs is some pretty strong coffee usually. It's a very bold flavor.
It was good, and the guy who waited on us at the window was very funny and congenial, and we had a good time when we drove through there.
That's good. A stand-up show at the drive-through window.
I recommend Black Rifle Coffee in Pigeon Forge if you're ever in the area.
Well, thank you again, Jim and Jenny, for this delicious little blend of coffee. Definitely try this. If you guys have had Kona coffee before, let us know in the comments below. Drop us a line about what your favorite Kona
or drop blend. Your coffee down below, whichever.
Put a picture of your coffee cup below. Let us know what your favorite Kona blend is, and we just may try it because there is quite a few options or are quite a few options.
There we go.
Grammar. When it comes to Kona blends that you can pick up at the store, at just your local store. Again, I usually don't, but now that I've had this, I want to try some others. So let me know what you guys like. However, now it is time for a word from our sponsors. So, take it away. Welcome to Yoga Within You. I'm Sergey Nuna Tutu. I'm an in-home yoga instructor. I believe that yoga should not be limited to your weight, gender, race, or your ability to do yoga. Although I do try to not work with people from Alabama. Yoga Within You teaches how to perform all the hardest yoga moves in your mind. Forget about having to stretch and labor to get into those tough poses, or hours of endless sweating, and open your mind to get your exercise. In fact, you don't even have to know what the proper poses are. You just simply decide what your truth is and perform your pose in your mind. I'll be honest, I don't even know what yoga is. Only what I decide yoga to be. So that means I really do know what yoga is. So come join me, Sergey Nuna Tutu, for Yoga Within You. And if yoga isn't your thing, I also have a Yogurt Within You class, which I highly prefer. Well, we certainly hope you enjoyed that word from our sponsors, and thank you so much to sponsoring them. If you're interested in sponsoring us, drop us a line. You can put that down in the comments as well. We know you're not, so we'll get on with trivia. However, make sure you like and subscribe, because that's the way you can make a difference.
We need all the likes and subscribes we can get.
We need all the help we can get. But first, let's play some trivia.
All right. What are we doing?
All right, so we have 5 questions today. I was making sure I didn't do the 6th one, but 5 questions, all based around vacations. So since we are coming upon summer and the vacation time of year, we need to get into the idea of vacation. So, without further ado, let's see how well Dad knows his vacation spots. Here's a little piece of history, family history from us. We didn't go on vacation that much.
Well, we couldn't afford to. I was depressed, and there was that whole period where I never got out of bed for 3 years, but but we're past that now.
So anyways, question number 1.
All right.
What is the most visited tourist attraction in the world? Is it A, Times Square, B, Disney World, C, the Colosseum, or D, Eiffel Tower?
I'm gonna go incorrectly with Disney.
You are incorrect. It is Times Square.
It is Times Square.
That is the most visited tourist attraction.
I guess just the first January 1st or December 31st, that alone draws millions.
It gets a lot of people, but all throughout the year, I mean, everybody ends up going. I don't know how they would rank that. I mean, Disney, obviously, you could tell by like ticket sales and all, but I don't know how you get that just by.
There is just no way
to do that.
That I would go to Times Square.
I would go. It would be interesting. Mom and I went through New York City once, and Mom would stop in the middle of the walkway as people were walking all around her to stand there and take a picture, and how she didn't get mugged, I don't know. At least it was broad daylight. Question number 2. By the way, these questions are brought to you by The Today Show at Today.com. So thank you, Today.com. If you would like to sponsor us, the Bahamas is one of the most popular destinations for U.S. residents to visit the Caribbean. On average, how cold does it get in the Bahamas? Is it 40 degrees, 50 degrees, 60 degrees, or 70 degrees?
How cold?
On average.
I'm going to say 60.
And you would be incorrect again. It is 70 degrees.
Oh, it never gets cold there.
Sounds fantastic.
It does.
That's amazing.
Now, I don't know anything about Bahamas, but I do have a friend, if he'll ever watch these, that owns property in Aruba.
Ah. Well, I'm pretty sure we could film Like Father, Like Son from the Bahamas. If you want to see Like Father, Like Son in the Bahamas, comment below. Champagne is less than 100 miles away from Paris. Now, if you're French, it's pronounced Champagne.
Champagne.
How many bottles of champagne or Champagne are shipped around the country from there each year? 1.5 million bottles, 322 million bottles, 525 million bottles, or 1 billion bottles.
Good grief.
So 1.5, 322, 525, or 1 billion.
I'm going with 525, Ralph.
You are again incorrect.
I'm killing this.
322 million bottles. That's a lot of bottles.
That is a lot of bubbly.
That is... Let's see, there's, I think, still 300 million people that are in America.
325.
So,
that's
okay.
like one per.
Just about one per. You have a few million that would be left without a bottle of Champagne.
But they could certainly go around. I was going to say they could go to a neighbor's house who probably got an extra bottle shipped to them.
All right. How many Smithsonian museums and galleries are in Washington, D.C.?
Oh, that's not fair.
10, 13, 17, or 19?
And I
used
grew
to
up
live there, yeah.
But you know how many
never went to the Smithsonian or the museum.
I went to the Air and Space Museum. My dad actually was worked at the Air and Space, did projects there. He did the Spirit of St. Louis that's hanging there. He painted that.
So then we know the answer is in between 1 and 19.
Yeah, we're going to go with the low end and be wrong again. 10.
You sure?
No. 17.
There we go. We'll count that. 17.
Yeah, did I win with 17?
Well, you didn't win anything this day. You already got your socks. You win the other sock. That's why you got one sock the first time.
One sock at a time.
And here's
we
your
didn't
other
show
sock.
them. These things double.
As a necktie.
As a necktie. If you're just in a tight spot, you can take it off your foot.
If you tie two together, it can also be... Anyways... In the movie National Lampoon's Vacation, so you should know this, where is the Griswold family traveling? SeaWorld, Wally World, Disney World, or Busch Gardens?
Which movie?
National Lampoon's Vacation.
We didn't watch that. It's Wally World.
Yes, there you go. 2, 1.5, but 2. Look at that. Good job. 2 out of 5.
All right.
All right. So we've talked about this before, but what is the one place that you would like to vacation? Because we didn't talk about this, but what's one place you would like to vacation you've never been to before?
Never been to before.
Never been to before. Whole world.
In the whole world? I mean, if it wasn't such a ragged... I'd love to go to Europe with Gene.
Who's his wife? My mother.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Europe with...
with Gene?
with my wife. You could ask her how she feels about it, whether she wants to go to Europe with her husband.
Would you like to go to Europe? Mom said sure. Okay, so any particular area of Europe? Because that's like saying, North America. Scotland?
Well, Scotland I've been to when I was in the submarine force.
Okay.
And
well, that's not the same as a vacation though.
No.
So you could say that again.
But yeah, I would love to tour all of it.
All of Europe. Just take a driving tour through Europe.
And if my writing will take off, if any of you need copywriting services, please comment below.
In the middle of our YouTube. It's like I work for Pizza Hut, but if you want Domino's, I can supply that to you as well.
I can get
Check out our cold pizza episode, which was the previous one to this, by the way. So yours was Europe. Before you try to sell anything else, let us know in the comments below what your favorite or most wanted to... The place that you want to travel to the most. Let us know that in the comments below. Drop us that comment. Make sure you like and subscribe to Like Father, Like Son. And let us know what trivia questions we should cover with Dad next. Which ones do you think he would do well on? Which ones do you think he's not going to do so well on? That's the ones I'm more interested in if I'm going to be a regular old selfish American. Thank you so much for watching. Hope that you enjoyed it today. We're going to catch you next week for a little more Like Father, Like Son. Dun, 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 dun. I think the milk's a little sour. It's soy milk. You said you were lactose intolerant.